My obsession is continuing, and it is manifesting into this video that you're watching right now. I have been obsessively thrift shopping. So this video specifically, I'm actually going to be making dupes for Urban Outfitters pieces. I don't shop at Urban Outfitters. I do look at their website often and fill my cart up, but never have I been strong enough to press checkout because the prices are ridiculously high and I'm not into that. Urban Outfitters sells scrunchies for an outrageous price. We're going to be making scrunchies out of shirts that I have thrifted. The shirts that I pick up, I honestly just go through them, look at the patterns. I like to use t-shirts, especially ones from the thrift store, because they're softer. So the first thing you want to do is you want to lay out your shirt flat, whatever shirt you want, and cut a rectangle. I'm using a guide that I made. Honestly, with scrunchies, you don't have to be perfect. As long as it's a rectangular piece of fabric, it'll work. If you want to be specific, I'll leave measurements and stuff in the description. But scrunchies are pretty forgiving. Really, all that's going to change with the length of the fabric is how scrunchy it is. Once you have your fabric cut up into strips. So I cut up the shirt into quite a few strips. As you can see, each shirt makes a lot of scrunchies. We have our hair ties here, and I'm just gonna take one. The most important part of this is that you do it inside out. One side of this is more vibrant than the other. So take your hair tie and the part of the fabric that looks nice and kind of join them together and then meet them on the other side so that it looks like this. And here's where the pins come in if you're an inexperienced seamstress, sewer, whatever the term is. I don't have a problem sewing them without the pins, so the pins aren't 100% necessary, but if you're having trouble starting it, you can take your pin and just put it in there so that it holds it in place, and that way you're not fumbling around trying to do it. Now we're gonna get the sewing. Run it through your sewing machine like so, and it's super easy. You just keep going all the way until you hit the end of your scrunchie. If you're doing it around the hair tie, you should see it form like a scrunchie, and then tie it off. Make sure if you're using your sewing machine to go back and forth, that way everything is secured. And then once you're done with that and you have the flipped inside out scrunchie, you're going to take and flip it the right way, which is a painstaking process if I'm being honest. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you can do it, I promise. Depending on the fabric, it could be a lot harder. Some of the stuff is super easy, and then like some thicker shirts, it really takes some time. Once you have your scrunchie flipped to the right side, you just sew the ends. What I do is I tuck them into each other, and I make sure one of the edges is flipped so that there's no raw hem showing, and then I just sew a line. And then you have scrunchies. This is by far the easiest Urban Outfitters dupe. I always have a scrunchie on my wrist. I actually sell them on Etsy. If you want an upcycled scrunchie, they are gonna be in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. I don't have merch or anything, so feel free to support if you want to. If not, it's no big deal. Just letting you know that the option is there. The second Urban Outfitters dupe that we're gonna go for are these jean shorts. So I went ahead and picked up some jean shorts from the thrift store. These are men's shorts. Honestly, for the high-waisted look, I have the most luck in the men's section just because, you know, dudes have more room down there. You might get lucky in the women's section, but I literally don't find anything besides like early 2000s low-rise jeans, so that's a hot tip for you. When I picked out the shorts, the most important things to me were the wash of them. I really like the wash. And then they fit my waist pretty well already. So I'm not gonna be taking in the waist. However, they are quite long. I'm going to cut them and I'm going to cuff them. And I'm also going to take in the sides. The first thing that I'm doing is cutting my shorts because they're way too long. And I'm actually gonna end up cutting them 18 more times because I can't figure out the right length. But I ended up cutting them to the length that I like. and then once I like the length of them, I put them on inside out. So I flip them inside out and I just kind of gather the fabric near the bottom of the shorts just because I felt like they flared out too much. So I gathered them, pinned them, and sewed them. When sewing denim on a sewing machine, I highly recommend that you have a heavy duty needle in your sewing machine because I've broken quite a few. And they also have denim thread, which will hold a lot better. Then once I take in the sides as much as I want them to be taken in, I'm going to work on cuffing them. I just used liquid stitch instead of sewing them because honestly it looks kind of weird if you have a sewing stitch going around the entirety of your shorts. Liquid stitch is a lot easier. It's used for hemming a lot too, so it makes sense. That's how I made my denim shorts from Urban Outfitters dupe. Honestly, I really like them. I'm excited to wear them. They're comfortable. I can have like food and feel fine. And then for my last Urban Outfitters dupe, I found this skirt from the thrift store a while ago, and when I saw it, it immediately spoke to me. It definitely reminded me of something trendy enough to be on Urban Outfitters, but the fit was not quite where I wanted it. It was not quite as high-waisted, it wasn't quite as tight, and it had shorts under it. The process is really similar to the shorts. All I did was try my skirt on inside out. I got really frustrated with the shorts underneath of it, so I eventually ended up just cutting them out because they were just getting in the way. I ended up having to sew and re-sew quite a few times. I did eventually get it though. I can't believe I pulled that off. It just took me a couple tries to get it close enough to my body to where it felt comfortable. I expected it to be a lot more difficult, but it wasn't. Once I sewed it to fit me better, I noticed that the hem was kind of, you know, messed up. So instead of re-sewing it, I did just take liquid stitch and fix the hem up, and it worked perfectly fine. And now I have a nice cute skirt, which looks like I paid $60 for it, but I paid $3 for it. And those are all of the things that I flipped. So all of the shirts from the thrift store I paid $1 for. I paid $3.99 for the pair of denim shorts, and then I also paid $3.99 for my skirt. So I hope I convinced you that I know what I'm doing, and I hope this was somewhat entertaining for you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want. If not, bye. Frick.